Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome to another prediction show. After last week, I got 7 points. JP got 3, 2.6 pointers for me, which was the Shamrock Rovers Dundalk one. JP also got Shamrock Rovers and Dundalk, so we did well there in the 1-0. I also got Galway and Bohemians, which was 1-1, so that was another 3 pointer for me as well. I got Waterford and Pats actually, but it was 1-0. I said 3-2, so I was a bit wrong there, but I got the point. So that has me on 72 points, and JP is on 69 points. We're going to start off with the European fixtures, actually, JP. We'll start off with obviously two Gibraltar sides taking on two Irish sides here. And I suppose both sides couldn't have asked for a better draw, in my opinion, to be honest with you. St. Joseph's take on Shelbourne. It's Shelbourne's first European game in 18 years. Would you be able to guess who they played?
Yeah, it was a dense.
Oh, Dens, good one. Give him an extra 3 points for that. No, it's a good one. Fair play. The 18 years is a long time for Shelbourne Football Club. It's incredible when you think about it. So I'd say the atmosphere would be cracking at Talca Park for this. You'd argue a bit of pressure on them as well, because they're arguably favourites to win the tie as well, JP. But at the same time, coming up against a side that, they've played Larne in recent years in Europe, and they knocked them out. But they also lost the same year to Slavia Prague 11-0 on aggregate, which was absolutely huge, to be honest, as well. They've a couple of players, they're a very aging team. I looked at them, they've a lot of older players in their team, an awful lot of older players in their team. A chap called Liam Walker, for a start, who's 36. He came in from the champions, Lincoln Imps, but he's a very experienced international, 62 international caps for Gibraltar. Goal scorer midfielder, he was at Imps anyway. They finished 2 points behind Imps last season in the league. They've got a striker called Wanfrey, I think, is his name. He's a player that has a weird goal scoring record. He scored 81 goals in 80 appearances for St. Joseph's. He moved to Lincoln Imps and then scored 31
Lincoln
goals in
Redhams.
30 appearances. Yeah, very,
Lincoln
very.
Redhams, it is.
Lincoln who?
Lincoln Redhams.
Read him, sorry. But he had an incredible record and he's moved back there now. But he's also on the wrong side of 30. He's 34 years of age as well. So, yeah, it's an interesting one because a lot of older players I mentioned there. But Shelbourne have to fancy their chances here, surely.
Yeah, you have to fancy your chances, but you can't underestimate them
No.
either. I think Larne possibly did that a few years ago and got their fingers burnt. That was a really if I'm not if I'm not mistaken, that was Larne's second year in Europe because I think Larne's first every year in Europe they got to the third round. Ended up going out the Pacos Ferreira of Portugal, but they beat Danish team along the way. So yeah, but and then I think the next year in they lost to St. Joseph's. But look, Shelbourne, I'm sure Damon Duff has done his homework on them. He won't take this lightly. I'd say a bit of pressure on them because they're expected to win the game. There's been pressure on them, I think, for most of the season, but I think there's been no pressure on them, sorry, for most of the season, but I think that now where they're the favourites basically. From here on in, they won the league, and I think that's where how do they deal with it? Seen a statement from Duff tonight saying it's time they stand up and enjoy it, and have a time of their lives, and I'm sure that's exactly what they'll do. And look, on the basis of it, Shelbourne really should be winning this game. Um, Shelbourne won't score a lot of goals. I don't think.
Mm.
They'll play this very similar to how they play the league games. They'll not be wide open, and they'll just want to get through the tie and get another round out of it. 18 years away from Europe, they won't want to fall at the first hurdle. Um, so I think they'll win this game. Will they concede? I don't know.
Mm.
I'd like to think they'll win it more than 1-0. Because we know they like to win 1-0 at home, but or in the League of Ireland, when I say at home, I mean in the League of Ireland. Um, I'm going to say 2-0 Shelbourne, Keith.
Got me, JP. Exact same score, 2-0. Thinking the same as you. I think they won't concede. In my opinion, they're not going to concede in this game. They probably will now, but I just think I think these teams, without going into too much detail over both teams, I think they could be bottom, second, bottom, and bottom if they're in the League of Ireland. If I'm honest with you, Premier Division, that's what I think, and I think Shelbourne want to take a lead there because the results away from home. We'll talk about Magpies in a minute, but the results away from home haven't really yielded wins with the Irish teams in recent years against the teams from Gibraltar. You know what I mean? So I think they'll want to take a lead there, and I agree with you. I would go 2-0. Now, your team, Derry City, take on Magpies away from home in the first leg in Gibraltar. And the interesting thing about Magpies is in the last couple of years, they faced Dundalk last year where they were beaten 3-1 at Oriel, but they drew 0-0 in the first leg over there. Notably, Pat Hooban scored in that match, by the way. And Daniel Kelly featured as well. So there's a bit of experience of playing them. But like with Joseph's, there is changes in their team as well. Like, you know, they did finish third last year, 17 or was 16, 17 points anyway, off St. Joseph's in the league. But there are changes to both sides um, ahead of the new season. And they have a lot of older players as well, JP. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's seen as a bit of a retirement home or something. I don't know. But like, they have a player that came in there, Eduardo de Salles, a Brazilian striker, 34. You know, I was looking at him. Ashton John Taylor has played for Aberdeen, Scottish Premier Division, to be fair. He's come in as well, but he's 33. And this seems to be the norm in that league. Look, whatever, like, you know, they're not going to get great players over either. But, you know, with Magpies as well, they also lost the Crusaders the year before. They lost to Dundalk. And again, I think they beat Crusaders at home or got a draw, didn't they? And they lost away, certainly 3-1. So I suppose for Derry going
They
over
didn't
there,
start both of them, I know that.
huh?
I think they took Crusaders to extra time in the
Did
second
they?
leg.
Did
Yeah,
they? Yeah.
they did.
Yeah.
But no,
Crusaders won in the
Crusaders
end.
won it later on, something like that.
Mm.
I know Crusaders made hard work of them.
True. Derry City, of course, with the experience they had in Europe last year of winning a couple of rounds, to be honest with you, like and getting results. I think their experience stand them well. They'll look at Magpies, and as you said in the last one with Shelbourne, you can't underestimate them. Of course, you can't, but you can strongly fancy yourself. And in general, the way Shelbourne, the way Derry City are playing, you would fancy them over the two legs for sure. Over there, it's difficult. You don't know what way the pitch is and bits and pieces like that.
Turned the cricket pitch and a football stadium. They managed to erect enough seats. They allow it to pass UEFA criteria. Now I know it falls below UEFA's criteria, but UEFA's
Mm.
given them special dispensation for this, and all teams in Gibraltar all use the same stadium. It's not a
How
very
many Derry fans are allowed to go again? Is it 50, 100?
few 250 tickets.
Oh,
There's
250. Oh.
250, yeah. Um, there'll be a lot more than that there, Keith. I can tell you that. It's not a very big place.
I
That
heard there's an outside where you can see essentially.
Yeah, well, the clubs they have plans in place. They erect screens across that, so you'll not be able to view it from outside the ground. Gibraltar's very on the tip of the Iberian Sea. It's just across the sea from Morocco, so it's going to be quite warm. It's a 5 o'clock kickoff. You'd expect that time of day that a 5 o'clock kickoff here, 6 o'clock here. You'd expect at that time of day temperatures may be a bit cooler. There was talk that the game was going to maybe kick off 3 or 4 o'clock Gibraltar time because they weren't prepared to pay 90,000. They put on a generator for floodlights. I don't know what has happened that the kickoff is now 6 o'clock, but it's probably better for Derry's point of view that it's at that time and not in the middle of the afternoon. Because as I say, you're literally is it right on the Iberian Sea. Like it's temperatures are going to be soaring.
Hmm.
So and it's a plastic pitch as well. So it is, and I think this is going to be the first ever match played on it. So bound to be in good condition, which might
Hmm.
suit Derry. As we know, we play on a plastic pitch anyway, so we'll be well used to it. The fact with Dan Kelly and Pat Hoban, we've come up against them just last year, we'll have a bit of knowledge about them, might be able to work in Derry's favour. I know there was logistic problems last year, and Rory Higgins getting over to the Faroe Islands. They watch Tórshavn. It's probably a wee bit of a different problem this year because Gibraltar aren't in their season, and they are likely
It's a good
playing.
factor, though, you would
They
think.
are they are likely playing friendlies, but they're not going to broadcast where they are they? Like so, like they there's a tag on them that they're the world's most famous pub team because they were formed in a pub, called Bruno's in Gibraltar. But they get into European football, I think you're a bit better than a pub team, but Derry should
Mm.
still should win this game, Keith, over two, especially over two legs. But you ideally be looking for two wins in both legs, like especially to help the coefficiency.
Yeah, I think they'll win the game, though. I'll go for 1-0, and I think we'll get on to the second leg the next day, but 1-0.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think one taking in what I've said about the temperature and conditions and a new pitch and not really knowing what we're coming up against, I'm going to say 1-0 as well.
JP, on Tuesday, Reykjavik take on Shamrock Rovers. Now, I'm hoping the video will be out by then, but if not, we'll have our predictions in here anyway. Um, yeah, what are you thinking there? Big game for Shamrock Rovers, difficult game. They struggled last year against opposition from the same country. Got knocked
Yeah,
out.
got knocked out convincingly. Played 4 games in Europe last year, lost all 4.
Mm,
So they want to put that right. Um, the team they played last year looked a really good, solid team. And the fact that they haven't won the league this year this team must be a bit about them. We know Shamrock Rovers have been struggling in the league this year. A really good win there against who Dundalk. Sorry,
Dundalk, yeah, yeah.
on Thursday night they lead in it. So they're going to have a wee bit of confidence. I think more probably more I know last year pundits were blaming the standard of the League of Ireland for why Rovers can't compete when they go into Europe, but I think that was a nonsense theory. I think that I'm not even going to predict who that came from, but it came from somebody in RTE anyway. I can't remember who exactly. Um, or one of the RTE pundits is normally on, but anyway, because they're away, Keith, and I really hope I'm wrong, but because they're away, I'm going to predict a 1-0 defeat. I think Rovers will come get them back to Tala, still in the game.
Mm.
But I just I don't know much about the Reykjavik team. I'm going on the team that Rovers lost to last year and the format Rovers have been in. I'm just going to say, and I think Rovers will probably be happy with this, but I'm going to say 1-0 defeat for Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah, I think it might be 2-0 or something for Reykjavik. I hope I'm wrong. Rovers can get a better result, but I'll go for 2-0. Bohemian FC and Sligo in the league on Friday. Last time they played at Daily Mount was 2-2 draw on the open day of the season. Entertaining game. 1 win and 10 for Bows. Sligo, brilliant win in their last 2 games. Am I first on this one? I am first on this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this would be typical of Sligo and Bows, by the way, if Bows go and win the match. So I'm going to go for Bows to win 2-1 based on that logic.
Yeah, as said in the Premier Division show, Bows have won 1 and 10, and that was against Sligo at the Sligo Showgrounds, I think in May. And yeah, Sligo 6 points against Shamrock Rovers and Derry. And it would be typical of them, not they won this game. I think this will be a score draw.
Hmm.
So I'm going to say 1-1.
Galway United and Waterford. Waterford third in the league. Galway fifth in the league. Galway have a chance to go 3 points behind with a game in hand. Good record against Galway overall, or against Waterford overall in the last number of years, to be fair, in the first division, and even this year. Eamon DC Park, it's an interesting one. Contrast of styles, I would suggest.
Hmm.
Fast, good counter-attacking side, can play football. I'm not saying Galway can't play football, but their strengths are literally their strength and set pieces. But they can play football too. Yeah, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the head-to-head between this year and next year, and Waterford haven't won 1 game. Galway've won
And
two,
I don't think Waterford beat them in the first last year either, by the way.
four. Galway've won 4 out of one, two, out of the 6 games, Galway have won 4,
Mm.
and drew the other 2. So you have to go back to 2022, um, when Waterford won the playoff. They won 3-0. And before they went on then to lose to UCD in the final. So that's the last time Waterford have beaten Galway, and they'll be lucky to put that right. But Galway are at home, they're going to make it difficult for them. Is it me first or you?
You,
Me.
yeah.
I think Galway will win this one 2-1.
I'm laughing because the Waterford fans are not going to like us this week.
No, I know,
I
I
think a
know.
Galway will win it. I think Galway will win it. I'm not going to go 2-1 though, but I do think Galway will win it as well. So I'm going to go for Galway to nick it 1-0. Finally, Dundalk and Drogheda in clearly the game of the day, has to be said. Not only is it allowed Derby, it's bottom against second bottom. There's a couple of points between them in the table. Massive, massive game this. I wonder what Drogheda take a draw, because I think if Dundalk were to win, I think they're in big, big trouble. That said, I don't think they'll play it in that way. A team that struggles to score goals big time in Dundalk, and it's a team that struggles to keep them out big time with Drogheda. And often when that happens, it's the team usually who struggle to keep them out that are likely not to get the result. It will be a tight game, but hopefully a good game as well. But I'll go 2-1 Dundalk.
Yeah, Drogheda, will they take confidence from that result against Shelbourne? As I said, Drogheda, I think, need to not lose the game, but it's at Oriel Park, and there's a wee bit of a resurgence in Dundalk. I know they lost the last home game against Waterford, was it? Um, and they lost narrowly to Shamrock. Rovers could have got something out of that as well. But I'm going to say another draw for this one. I'm going to go 2-2.
2-2. I'll be at the game, so I wouldn't mind 2-2, I'm not going to lie. But let us know, guys, what you think in the comments. Give us a few predictions. I'm sure the Waterford fans will be in the comments again, upset about our predictions. But there you go. What can you do? Subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching. Thank you, JP.
Yeah, cheers, Keith.
Fair play. Good stuff.